All you have to do is stop thinking of email as email and start thinking about it as strategic messaging. Hey, internet homie, Jamie here and Ben, and today I have a new video for you because I want to share actionable step by step marketing content that you can apply in your business right now, today. Today is a Throwback Thursday video, and that means that you're going to get long form content where you're going to learn either a specific copywriting technique, a specific marketing technique, or you get to watch over my shoulder while I work. So I definitely recommend getting yourself comfortable, get something to drink, make sure that you have something to take notes in, and buckle in. If you're ready to market smarter, not harder, then make sure that you give this video a like and subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss any of my next actionable marketing content videos. All right, let's dive right into it.
We interrupt this program to bring you the Marketing Nerd Show, starring Jamie, the Marketing Nerd. Grab a seat, take out your notes, and let's get into the show!
Let's go over what it is that you're going to learn today. We're going to cover why you should never write another fucking newsletter ever again, why email marketing is still worth your time, because I know people were kind of like, what is up right now? Like, it's 2020. Why are you talking about email marketing? Because you're probably still not maximizing it, still not taking full advantage of it. And I am really tired of seeing people spend time, resources. I feel like time is money, not because time is literally money, but like time is more valuable than money. You spend it and you can never get it back. But if you spend all your money, you can at least make more money. So in a way, if you're spending your time on stuff that doesn't work, that's worse than spending money that doesn't work. And I am really tired of seeing people spend time on shit that doesn't work. So I want to tell you an easy, low-hanging fruit way that you can get some more revenue into your business. We are going to be covering why your email marketing has not worked in the past, and then some don'ts of email marketing that almost everybody messes up. I at first called this do's and don'ts of email marketing, but then I was like, actually this is just a lot of ways that people are fucking up email marketing. So it's really don'ts. But we are going to close out with one quick tactic that you can instantly use to figure out what the fuck you can write. So like I said, y'all, let me know where you're watching from, any questions that you have about email marketing, because this is going to be a series and we have lots of fun, exciting stuff coming up later in the series. Actually, let me just read you what some of our other marketing nerds have asked. Leslie says, I stress out about what to write. It can take way longer than I think it should to write emails because I don't know what to write. John wants to know about automation based on sequences. Mark says, I would love if you could break down the type of emails that convert, the structure, the verbiage, and the topics. If you could break down those factors and how that changes based on your audience, that would be great. Enrique, who is right here with us now, says that he thinks that this still works with some industries and demographics, but I'm about to throw this back in your face, bro. But at the same time, it's so 2010. I don't know if you could tell, but you inspired me with the copy that I was writing about this. I always liked it, but I use it less and less. It's good to implement as part of a whole, but not the main thing anymore like it used to be. That's just my opinion, and I love the idea of the series. And then Daniel says that he wants to learn how to build his list, how to best use email sequences, and how specifically to write email offers. So that is some of what you have to look forward to as we go through today and also the rest of the email series. But let me know what you want to know about email marketing. And also, have you been doing email marketing that has not worked for you? And if so, I would love actually for you to send me your email copy to review, because I would love to put together a video in this series where I just go over your emails that you've actually written and we can go over, like, take the concepts that you're going to learn in the next few videos and then apply it to reality. You know how much I love to take things abstract and take them to the streets. So I would love to do the same thing for you and your emails. So I think with all that said, let's dive into what we are going to cover today. First, why email marketing? It is 2020. Why am I sitting here talking to you about email marketing like it's 1998? The reason why is because email is the number one lowest hanging fruit opportunity to grow your business's revenue, because most businesses are not even scratching the surface of what's possible with email marketing. So, a very conservative estimate is that I'm about to, and by the way, as we go through this whole thing, I've got some research, I've got some studies and stuff like that. So, you know, as the marketing nerd, that I love to make sure that what I share with you is backed up not only by my professional experience, but also by peer reviewed literature and research about what's going on in the real world besides my experience with my clients. So, studies have shown that on average, businesses can make, like, this is average across all industries, 10% of revenue from email marketing. So, just right off the bat, when I say that your business isn't scratching the surface of email marketing, that if you could not directly attribute 10% of your total revenue to email marketing, then you're not even close. You're not even close to maximizing the potential that email marketing has to bring you direct top of line revenue in your business. So, that is a good place to start. And most companies are not even at that point. But you guys, even more exciting, depending on the industry, it can be really common for email marketing to make up even 20% of total revenue or 30% of total revenue. So we're gonna touch on a common misconception a little bit later. But if you are like someone who is Amazon, for example, you're selling stuff on the internet, you can expect to see email make up an even bigger portion of your revenue than, you know, the 10% might be for like a brick and mortar business or something like that. One client of mine has even doubled their revenue, you guys, 2x their revenue through implementing my personal e-commerce email engine, which I will be sharing with you in another video of the email marketing series. So why email marketing? Because it is a low-hanging fruit opportunity in your business. It's also a way to stay in touch with your people that you own, okay? Because let's say you're crushing it on Facebook or TikTok or something organic, you could log into your account one day and be banned. Or let's say that you're capitalizing your business, you're getting a lot of your inbound leads through paid promotion. Well, you could do something that trips the violating of the advertising guidelines, and then your ad account could get shut down. This is really common with Facebook advertising, for example, that Facebook will often shut down people's accounts who are not necessarily doing anything sketchy, like just because you kind of got caught up in the machine. All you have to do is look in any of the big Facebook groups, like ClickFunnels Facebook group, for example, is just like a huge group that a lot of marketers go to, whether or not they're actually using that product. And you can find tons of posts in there on almost a weekly basis of people saying that Facebook just like shut down what they got going on, and they don't really understand why, and they can't get in touch with anyone at Facebook to fix their stuff. And like, it's a whole big thing, because the truth is that when you build your business on somebody else's sandbox, your success is at their mercy. Okay. So one algorithm change, one getting hacked, one getting locked out of your account, or one getting banned, and it is game over for you. Here's a story of somebody who didn't even do anything wrong. He was basically like traveling, and he had set a daily spend on his Facebook account. And then something happened that like his thing got hacked, like his personal Facebook account got hacked. And then he like tried to get back into it, but then it glitched. And then he wasn't able to log into his Facebook account anymore. And what that means is that he couldn't access his Facebook ads account. So he kept spending money every day, but he didn't have the ability to turn it off because he couldn't log in to his actual Facebook account. And there was nobody who like he could get in touch with to have them fix that. So the thing is, you guys, like, yeah, when you're building it on somebody else's sandbox, it's a risk. You don't even have to have something go wrong with your ad account specifically. It could be a problem with your personal Facebook account, but then you get locked out of everything else. So that's why email is so important, because at least if you have, an email service provider bans you or something for some reason, you don't have to be doing something sketchy to do that. By the way, they all just have their rules. Like, you could be selling supplements, and supplements, they don't really like when you use certain email providers or whatever, but it's just because of what you're selling, not anything that you've specifically done. So, I mean, first off, an email provider banning you, like MailChimp or whatever, them banning you is a lot less common than Facebook shutting down people's ads accounts for no reason. But at least, even if something like that did happen, you could still access your account, download the list, and upload it to somewhere else, because they're not usually closing off your whole account. They're just not allowing you to send out emails anymore. So it's really important. And you can sure leverage these other places to reach people, new audience, and stuff like that. But just make sure that you're driving the people that you're meeting out there in the wild to somewhere that you control the information at the end of the day. That's another big reason why email marketing is still important. And the third reason, almost everybody has an email. Okay. So I was wondering, like, how many people have an email anyway? Or like, what about phones? And what about social media? So, you know me, as a marketing nerd, I did some research, and here is what I was able to find. Facebook has, which is the largest social network, has about 2.6 billion users. Okay, like, that's a lot. Clapsies for Zucks. Kudos. About 5 billion people have mobile phones. There are about 5.5 billion active email accounts. So social media is great, but you have to keep in mind that not everyone has social media, but everybody who does have social media had to have an email address to sign up for that account. Email can help you maximize your reach on social media. Point 4. So getting prospect email addresses and whatever is really important part of maximizing your reach on social media, especially if you're doing any type of paid advertising, because you can take their email addresses, load it up into the ad product of like Facebook or YouTube, or even Google AdWords will let you reach people inside of your Gmail account. And or other social networks also let you do it. But you can take their exact email address, upload it into the ad product of whatever social media, and then reach those same people on Facebook. Like, you have their email address and you can get back in touch with them on Facebook, so that you can create an integrated marketing strategy wherever people are going, that they're seeing your stuff. And this, finally, point 5, why email marketing is the misconception that I was talking about, but it won't work for my business. This is probably the number one objection that I hear when I talk about email marketing, because there's just this misconception, just this idea that like email marketing only works for certain type of businesses, like the online businesses that sell information products and e-commerce businesses. But you guys, that's not reality. The truth is that email marketing sells everything from like serious and boring stuff like wealth management and like business equipment or whatever, to fun stuff like concerts and pizza and brick and mortar stores and so much more. And professional services, like, I get pushback from people who are in professional services. What that means is that you provide support to other businesses. So like, I'm in professional services, videography is a professional service, accounting is professional services. I don't know why professional services have this idea that email marketing doesn't work for them, because I have set up tons of successful email marketing sequences For other professional service people, I use, I use email marketing myself. I've even seen email marketing work for lawyers. So like if personal injury lawyers can use email marketing, you can use email marketing to sell your graphics design stuff, okay? All you have to do is stop thinking of email as email and start thinking about it as strategic messaging. So let's just do a little fun, quick example of how could a restaurant use email marketing. First off, how do you even get emails as a restaurant? There are two ways that you could do it. One is that you could do it through when people check out on your point of sale system, people can, and you can ask for the email when people are doing that. Lots of the point of sale systems that allow for stuff like iPads to have transaction, or if the server has to take it back to a main POS station, both setups often have ways that you can require the email address, but especially if you have it like outbound with the server having an iPad and then you're handing the iPad to the homie to like sign and finish the transaction and stuff like that, that's a great opportunity to put an email capture form on there. And you should do it if you have the ability to do it. It will depend on, you know, each specific service and whatever. But if you can do it before they finalize the total and click complete, so it's like total, checkout, email address, where they either have to put it in or click skip, then the final add the tip and sign. If you have the ability to configure it that way, that would be the highest conversion. But you can also often have it show up. You can, when you have, what are they called? Clovers, where you know, coffee shops and stuff have these ones a lot where it's like a tablet or an iPad that like faces the cashier, but then it can rotate and flip around to face you. I see a lot of places just have it flipped around and they have the email form up all the time. So that's another idea. And then finally, Wi-Fi. There are tons of Wi-Fi services for restaurants and other public buildings where you just have to log in with your email to access the free Wi-Fi. And then guess what, you guys? You get their email. So now that you have their email in your restaurant, what should you do? I have a couple of ideas for you. Relevant news. So for example, like everything going on right now, you could email people and let them know that like you're delivering food or doing some type of curbside pickup during coronavirus. You could do welcome emails where when people first sign up, you give them some type of either dollars off or free something like free appetizer, free drink, whatever. Because when somebody has that initial sign up to your email list, that's the most active that they're ever going to be. We're going to go really deep into building your email list and also what to do in that welcome onboarding type of email sequence in a future video of the email marketing series. But short version is that when people are on your lists they first sign up, that's the most active that they're ever going to be, especially if you don't do anything. So you want to try to use that opportunity that you have their attention to immediately try to get them to make a second transaction as soon as possible. So in the case of a restaurant, if you can get people ASAP to come back right after they've been there and signed up for your email list, that would be the best use of attention. You could do onboarding, where in future emails after signing up, you share stories like about what makes your restaurant unique and stuff like that. You could do a weekly email where you share specials and like what's cool about the ingredients and where they come from and what the chef was thinking and stuff like that. But you have to think more like food magazine and less like new specials, promo, advertising bullshit. Like nobody gives a fuck about that. But if you can find out like what's interesting about the stuff that you're serving, people want to hear about your like artisanal Seminole pork, heritage pork or whatever, or like whatever, you know, chef's Coca-Cola bottle was talking to him in a dream about making these short ribs in a Dr. Pepper sauce. Like share those fun and weird stories about why you're so hype about your restaurant and the perspective and things like that. Is a fun way that you can get people to engage with your specials without just being like buy now, buy now, buy now. Like that's boring and nobody wants that. Birthdays. You could offer a coupon or a promotion. Again, I think that you should double down on the birthdays because so many people just do some lame shit like get a drink or whatever for your birthday. I think just give them like, how about 2 free entrees for your birthday? You know, if I was between 2 restaurants and one gave me and my guest free entree, guess what? Like that's where we're going for my birthday. And I know that people like restaurants don't usually like to do it, but this strategy in business is called a loss leader, and you're already doing it. Like you're already losing when you give a free appetizer or a free drink or whatever, especially the drinks, because that's where you make your margin. So just give the fucking free entree for the fucking birthday, okay? Trust me, you're gonna impress people. Go big or go home. But when you're doing this, you're gonna want to do it a couple of weeks before the birthday because they or a loved one may be planning and making a reservation in advance for their birthday. So you want to give a little bit of lead time. So for example, if someone hit me up 2 weeks before my birthday and is like, Jamie, if you come to this restaurant, we're going to give you and your guest a free entree, I would forward it to my girlfriend who's making me my dinner reservations and say, I want to go here, make that happen. And then you want to do a reminder, like maybe the day before the birthday and then the day of. VIP. Reward people who come to your restaurant often with just like free shit and swag and money off and drinks and stuff. You just want to make them feel cool for being so awesome to you. And then finally, reactivation. Like if someone hasn't come to your restaurant in a hot minute, just send them a promotion. So that's just like a real quick breeze through of how you can shift your thinking about what email marketing is and what type of business it's for and how to use it. So I hope that that was illustrative for you. Now let's talk about email marketing don'ts that basically everybody messes up. First thing, you're emailing people for the wrong reason. Remember when we were talking about restaurants and we're like, buy now, new specials. I'm the advertising monster and I'm gonna steal money from your wallet. Nobody likes that, okay? So you're probably emailing people for the wrong reason and people are they don't like spammy promotional stuff, okay? So there's really only 2 reasons why you should actually be emailing people: to give value or to provide a solution. So to give value, this is like anything that educates your prospects around their problem. So this might look like in the example of our restaurant thing that we just talked about, sharing cool stories about your restaurant, why you started the restaurant, what the concept is of the restaurant, but not in a boring way that like you write the 2 sentences on the top of your menu or whatever. Like I said, think more food magazine, less buy now. People are over that, okay? And if you're in a different type of business, it might look something like sharing your free content like blogs and videos and podcasts or whatever. It could look like the content upgrades, the free ebook or courses that people give you their email addresses in exchange for. We're going to talk about the major problems that most people have with their lead magnets and their opt-ins, again, in that list building welcome series video of the email stuff that I just talked about. So we're going to hit that real hard in another video. But most people's opt-in shit really sucks for reasons that we'll talk about in another video. But it would be that, or it could be curating and sharing relevant content from other people. But anything where you're giving and you're not asking, you're building a relationship with the person who's reading. So that's why stories also fall like under that umbrella. But you don't want to tell people like, there's a boring way to tell a story that just drones on and goes way too long and is all about you and nobody fucking cares about it. And there's a cool way to tell a story, which is when I'm saying like, think more food magazine for the restaurant and less like, this is my blurb that goes on my website and that I'm all wrapped up in my ego about, because nobody fucking cares about that. So just to clarify, when you're sharing free content with people, you're not emailing them because you released a new video. You're emailing them to help. So you've got to give a little setup as to what you're helping. Tell them how, you could cover like just a little bit of setup of maybe what they're going to learn in the content, and then the call to action to check it out. Like, hey, this is a little bit of detail about how you solve that thing. And if you want a lot more detail about how you're going to solve that thing, then check out this video or whatever. Just like how I've been talking about the other videos in the email marketing series. Like, right? I'm not sitting here saying, like, watch my new video on email marketing because I'm the marketing monster and I want you to watch it and it's about me and blah, blah, blah. I'm telling you, like, these are problems that other people have had. This is a problem that maybe you have. Maybe you're fucking tired of sending emails for no good reason and not making any money from them, because I don't know about you, but oh, I love that Enrique said this. He says, my biggest thing about email marketing is that sometimes the email does not make it to the inbox and instead it goes to promotional or social in the case of Gmail. We are going to cover that in this video, actually. But there's a big difference, you guys, between saying, like, watch my shit because I want you to watch it, compared to, like, hey, lots of people have this problem. Maybe you have this problem. Briefly, here is a little bit about how to solve it. Okay, and if you want the full thing, you want the full solution explanation, check out this other video. And it sounds like a subtle difference, but the reality is really night and day when you compare two emails where one has the I'm the marketing monster, me approach, and the other is focused on you and how I can help you. So the other thing that I mentioned in there, sharing other people's content, that sounds a bit whack. Like, what? Like, how can I share other people's content in a way that, like, they care about or whatever? So if you want some examples about how you can curate content in a way that provides value to your audience, I have two resources you can check out. It's Tim Ferriss's 5 Bullet Friday and Morning Brew. So I would just Google those two real quick, because we're not really going to cover them here, but I highly recommend Googling Tim Ferriss 5 Bullet Friday, Morning Brew, like a cup of coffee, you brew a coffee, Morning Brew. Sign up for both of those, and that will give you a good idea of how you can curate other people's content in a way that gives value. So let's talk about providing a solution. The reason why I call this step providing a solution instead of make an offer is to keep you focused. Stay focused that you're on your customer, okay? When you're thinking about your marketing. So it's not just figuratively, but it's also literally. You should start off the email with their problems. It's called pace matching. And then you're going to want to have a little bit of a lead in into your solution. So like I said, I'm going to have another video where we cover writing sales emails specifically in like a lot more depth. If you're really nice to me, maybe I'll actually write one live and we can write one together. So we're going to talk about sales emails in much, much, much more detail. But let me give you a quick tip, okay? So if you're someone who maybe struggles with coming up with ideas for emails, there's a little, I call it like a brainstorm. I call it a crutch phrase, actually. So sometimes, like, if I don't know what to write, I still do this. I'll just put in this sentence. So if you're struggling with like X, so an X is whatever your thing is. So this is like a very basic scene that I wrote for weight loss. But if I'm about to sell you a weight loss like thing, course, book, whatever, I might say something like, hey, Rick, I hope you've enjoyed all of the great videos and guides that I've been sharing with you over the last few weeks. I know that struggling with your weight is hard to deal with. You're probably tired of feeling uncomfortable every day. When you're overweight, just getting around takes so much out of you that most days you don't even have the energy to play with your kids like you want to. Do you feel like you've tried every single thing out there to beat this, but you just can't manage your weight? Well, and then like blah, 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 you'll talk about how your solution, like why obviously it is different than that. So that is, most people are emailing for the wrong reason. And it's not to tell people about your specials, and it's not to tell people, watch my new video. It's to help them, to give value, or to provide a solution. Okay, let's talk about why common email marketing advice doesn't work. A lot of the most common email marketing advice that you see out of there is like, try to send a newsletter at least once a month. That's just not gonna work for you, okay? Like, fuck your newsletter, Karen. Here's why it doesn't work. When you have that mindset of like, I just need to send out an email every, like, whatever, every month, every week, you usually wind up emailing people just to check that box. But newsflash, the only people who care about hearing you talk just for the heck of it is you. And if you're lucky, maybe your mom, and hopefully your partner, but honestly, maybe not even them. So when this is your mindset, you usually approach the issue from the beginning to the end. You're thinking stuff like, I have to send out an email this week. What should I write about? Sure, I'll send them that blog post. And you're like writing just to make the content so that you can get it done, so that you can set it off. And then you're checking it, like maybe you look at the open rates, maybe not. A lot of people don't even bother to look after that. It's like, great, sent my email for the week, and then just move on to something else. But maybe you just look at the email rates, like if maybe, and then that's it. Maybe if you're advanced, you look at the click-through rate. But most people are not looking at what is important, okay? We're gonna talk about what's important. But first, let's talk about why this type of approach, the number one reason why it doesn't work is because when you have this mindset, you are asking them to do too much. You are so unfocused that in just trying to get the email out or whatever, you're like asking people to read this blog post and check out that video and, hey, did you hear about my new product? And they're gonna do none of it because you're giving them a paradox of choice, okay? Each email and each piece of marketing overall needs to have only one purpose, and most people mess up at this step. So what's the solution? What you really need to do is you have to be more strategic about this. First, you need to decide, am I giving value or am I providing a solution right now? And then you have to work backwards from there. And carefully construct the entire message. I'm going to show you with the quick tip that I'm going to show you, not the next thing I'm going to say, but the thing after that. But you have to be focused about how you construct the message utilizing the tip that I'm about to tell you in a hot second. And you have to work backwards from what the purpose of your email actually is. So we talked about this in a lot more detail in my presentation, Fuck the Sales Funnel. I highly recommend that you go back and watch that. I'm going to try to remember to put the link to that in this at the end because I forgot to do it in the beginning. But because we covered this whole working backwards and thing in a lot of detail. And this is the biggest mindset thing that's holding most business owners back who are doing their own marketing. So I cover exactly why and how to change it there. But at the end of the day, ultimately, I don't care if I send an email to 1 million people and only 2 people opened it, if that email made me $100,000. And most business owners who are doing their own email marketing are not having this perspective. Okay, they're usually not even tying email to revenue. It is sometimes just a focus on vanity metrics, like, I don't care how big the list is. I don't care what the open rates are. I don't care what the click-through rates are. Some of that stuff is important, like just to know, it can help you figure out what's going on. But if I have I've seen people with an email list of 20 people sell like $8,000 of product because they had a pretty expensive product and only a couple people bought. But you don't need to have a big list to make any money. So you have to get clear about your goals. Another big don't of email marketing is that people care more about looks than they do about results. So I'm about to say something controversial. And also, this is going to address what Enrique brought up as far as stuff getting sorted in the wrong places and not going to people's inbox. Okay, so try to listen with an open mind to what I'm gonna say before you get all mad and like write me angry comments. And you're like, I'm never gonna watch the Marketing Nerd Show again. I hope you will, because you know that I'm giving it to you straight. Too many people are concerned with how the email looks than anything else. And what I mean is that they're addicted to fancy, flashy, cool template designs, okay? Like if you're the person who's ever hired somebody to, like a graphics designer, to design an email template for you, this is you. But it's okay. You're not alone. And you'd honestly be surprised at like the size of certain companies where the CEO makes decisions based off of ego, based off of I liked how this looked, more than this one email made us $28,000 when I took off all of your ugly bullshit that you had going on. But ditching the templates could be the number one way to increase the amount of revenue that you're generating through your email, because more people are going to see your email. Here is how fancy templates and flash, boom, bang, wow, zam, too many images and shit like that hurts you. So fancy images and templates put you at risk for what I call the Google clip. Email clients like Gmail clip off messages at the end, and they're usually like it's tied to a size. So for Gmail, it's like 102 kilobytes, and other email providers have slightly different, sizes that they clip it off, but almost all of them do this. And you would know if you've seen it, if you've ever seen something like you're reading your email and it says like dot view entire message as like a hyperlink. So there are a couple of problems with having fancy images and templates and all that bullshit in your emails. One of the biggest problems with email clipping is that your subscribers are not going to see your whole email unless they click view the entire message. They're not going to do that. Okay, they're just not going to do that. So you're basically wasting attention sending emails that people are not even seeing all of. You're not going to be able to accurately track your open rates if your emails are getting clipped, because usually the code like that tracks the open rate is at the bottom. So basically how MailChimp, it's like in the footer. So usually how MailChimp and stuff like that can give you the open rates of your emails is by tracking a little piece of code that, like, when it loads, then it counts that as an open. So if your stuff is getting clipped, you are not actually having your open rates tracked accurately, because like we covered, people don't fucking give a fuck about you and your dumb emails. So they're not going to click view the entire message. So that stuff at the bottom that tells MailChimp, hey, we got another one, it's just not even loading at all. And finally, if you have a lot of images and templates and stuff like that, this is what Gmail uses to sort you into promotions tab. Mainly promotions tab, but also social tab and spam. So what happens is it's a combination of the size of your message, and they have certain keywords. So you can just Google, like, what would be a good way to pull it up? I think if you Google email words blacklist, you should be able to find some pretty good lists that will tell you what type of words trigger the spam filter. Free, for example, is a word that triggers the spam filter. And this spam filter isn't necessarily to like put you only into spam, but if you trip it at all, that's how you start getting sorted into promotions, how you start getting sorted into social and stuff like that. For social, for example, like if you have a lot of social media links at the bottom of each email, like you link out like 10, connect with me on LinkedIn and Snapchat and Instagram and Facebook and YouTube and redfish and bluefish and yellowfish and twofish. And like, then all what Gmail's going to say when it, or think when it reads that is like, oh, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, LinkedIn, one fish, two fish, this is social. And then it will put it in there. So I highly recommend to just take out everything unnecessary from your email. I teach text only emails. And if I use an image, I'm probably only using one image. And I think that you would be really surprised, because even my e-commerce clients, where it's like the image is a big part, like, when you can't go into a store and like pick something up and jiggle it around and things, like you can only make the decision based off of your eyes and what you can see in a photo. So it seems like, yeah, I really need to send like a lot of pictures. But what you really should do is let your website show people a lot of pictures. And I will have anywhere from 1 to 3 images if it has to be like a certain type of e-commerce email or something like that. And then at max, I'll have like what I call 6 HTML elements, which would be 3 pictures, and then underneath at a max, and then 3 buttons underneath of each picture, like buy now, buy now, buy now. And even when it comes to stuff like abandoned carts, I have actually seen a lot more success with text only abandoned carts, where it's just more of a message like, hey, are you still looking for this? Just noticed that you pieced out before you bought it. Like, click here to go back and finish your transaction, type of thing, with just a hyperlink. I've even seen a lot more success with just a text-based abandoned cart email than I have with some of the procedurally generated ones, where it will drop in like a picture of the products that are in their cart and everything like that. So experiment with both if you're watching this and you're an e-commerce homie, but I'm telling you, don't underestimate the power of text-based emails, because the thing is that, like, if you send 100 emails and 20 go into people's like promotions thing, most people are not going to look at that. Most people don't look at the shit that lands in their primary inbox. So that's priority number 1, is getting into the primary inbox. But like, if you're having a quarter or half or more of your emails go into that promotion tab, like, the battle's already lost, So this is probably the number 1 thing that you can do to increase the efficacy of your emails, because ultimately all of business and all of marketing and all of sales is a numbers game. So you just need to get your stuff in front of more people, and you can't easily go, overnight, unless you spend a lot of money or something. But you can't easily go for free in 24 hours from 100 emails to 200 emails. But what you could do is go easily from 20 emails being in the promotion inbox to 75 emails. I'm sorry, in the primary inbox, to 75 emails being in the primary inbox. I have some other more advanced tips that I will share. They're already written, so I'll put a link in somewhere. I'm gonna put it in the description of this thing. So I'm gonna link Fuck the Sales Funnel presentation so that you can watch that, and also 5 keys to avoiding the spam filter, where I give like some really advanced tip about compressing your images and compressing your HTML code and some nerdy stuff like that. But the number 1 tip that I have is just to I even took out the MailChimp logo in my email. Like, you got to look everywhere that there's images and code and colors and other bullshit, and just take it all off. So that is the email don'ts that basically everybody fucks up. So I'm going to leave you with an actionable tip, okay? What the fuck should you write? This is one of the top things that people tell me they struggle with when it comes to email marketing. So just take a look at this comment from one of our fellow marketing nerds. I stress and overthink about what to write about because I prefer quality over quantity. And because of that, it can take way longer than needed to write my emails. So either a lot of people just get kind of tongue-tied and they don't really know what to say, or it's like maybe you have some scattered ideas, but like, how do you organize it? What should you say where and stuff like that? So I am going to share a very simple framework with you. When you're writing emails, I always start by setting up my documents first. Okay, I don't just go onto a blank page and then start trying to type. So when I set up my documents, I'm trying to like think from memory here. I'll put, if it's a series of emails, I write them all in one doc. And if it is just an individual email, then I don't bother labeling them. But if it was a series, I would be like email 1 and then blam, 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 all the other stuff that I am going to share. But I set it up and I say subject line with a colon and then an X, preview text, okay? Because most of you guys are letting your email services. Preview text is like when you look at an email and it says from Jamie and it says the subject line and then it'll be like, you know, some other shit. Usually, I can tell you what it usually says is, if you're having trouble viewing this email, click here for a plain text, blah, blah, blah. Okay, like most of you guys are letting your email platform fill in that preview text, but actually what you should do with it is you should strategically use it as a teaser. I'm gonna log in real quick to my thing. As far as what email platform to use and stuff like that, it really depends on your industry and your level of your business. I'm logging into my own account real quick so that I can show you some of my personal preview text lines that I've written, so that you can see how they're different. But literally, like, I'm gonna look at my email right now and I swear I'm gonna see someone that says, like, if you're, all right, actually, I don't have that many I got to inbox 0 earlier, so I don't have any that offend this right now. But usually it says like, view this email in your browser, or like, if you're having trouble loading your email, like click here for a plain text version. So these are some for my real email inbox. Oh, let me finish my other thought about, before I go to preview text, what type of email service provider should you use? It depends on your industry and it depends on your level of business. So personally, for the person who asked this question, for you, Enrique, I would stick with MailChimp unless you really want to get advanced. And especially if anyone is just starting out and you have only a small list or like a couple hundred people or maybe less than that or something like that, MailChimp is a great place to start, and it's very affordable. If you are in e-commerce, I would use Klaviyo specifically for Shopify. It just has much better integration and much better, really advanced segmentation features and tagging and stuff like that. If you are an enterprise level, a really, really large organization with like tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of emails on your list, Infusionsoft, or Confusionsoft as some people call it, is the gold standard. It is extremely expensive, extremely fiddly, and you're probably going to have to pay people a lot of money to set it up right for you. But if you're like trying to email 600,000 people or something, then it's the best way to go. And if you're somewhere in the middle, like you don't feel like you're basic MailChimp level, you want more power than that, maybe you have a list of a couple thousand people, but you don't feel ready or like it's necessary for you to pay all that money for Infusionsoft, then the middle of the road option is ActiveCampaign, or as my friend Jessica Dome, who is an Infusionsoft certified, professional or consultant or whatever they call their thing that they certify you with, but she calls it the poor man's Infusionsoft. So I hope that that helps you select your best email marketing platform. But my opinion is, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So like, if you're just dipping your toe into intermediate and advanced email marketing strategies and MailChimp has been working fine for you right now, then I would just stick with MailChimp. But if you're feeling like, I want to set up a lot of automations and I'm bumping up against the limitations of MailChimp and stuff like that, and you don't necessarily have to have a bigger list to justify moving to ActiveCampaign, but it's more like, if you want to get intermediate plus and advanced with your automation stuff, then you would want to move on to ActiveCampaign. But I usually don't recommend it. Well, it does depend on what exactly you're doing. Like, if you have a membership website, I actually recommend ActiveCampaign over MailChimp, even though a lot of popular membership websites integrate with both. And so there's like some considerations that are like specific. But broadly, MailChimp is great if you're just dipping your toe into stuff. If you feel like your list is getting too big or too fiddly, or you want to do something maybe more advanced that you can't on MailChimp, ActiveCampaign is a great choice. And at least for now, if you're working at an enterprise level, Infusionsoft is the way to go. I hate Infusionsoft personally, but unfortunately, there's not really anything better right now for that level of list size specifically. Like, I work you guys with everyone from people who have like 20 emails on their list to people who have like a database of like 1.2 million emails. So when you're trying to send 1.2 million emails, sometimes you accidentally crash the Infusionsoft server. So even at that level, they do buckle a little bit, but it's like nothing else really can support sometimes like such a high enterprise level of stuff. So let's go back to preview text and talk about how people, like, if you're letting your shit like MailChimp write, view this email in your browser, and you're not doing anything else, you're missing a huge opportunity. So here's some that are in my inbox that are actually pretty good. I'm pretty impressed, because I wanted to log in here and show you, like, look at all these people fucking up, but actually, like, they did it pretty good. So the subject of this one is, this house flipping hack works anywhere. And then the preview text says, if you want to see how to flip 15 houses per month without using any of your own money, and then it gets truncated, so it cuts off. Mine is an email. I'm on my own email list just to check, I guess. And it says, what are you doing? If you're not busy right now, come hang out with me. And then I put ellipses and read more. And I literally write read more. Reddit sent me one that says, where a well changes hands and water rights. Reddit r/best of legal advice, posted by like this person 10 hours ago, blah, blah, blah. This one says, email marketing for busy entrepreneurs. I know it's 2020, but put TikTok down for a second. Listen up, read more. Guess who that's by? So what was this other one? Oh, here's a promotional one. Oh, but they still got into view this email as a web page. Click here. But 9 supplements that can reduce stress, plus 30% off friends and family sale ends soon. But it wasn't long enough, so it still got to be this email as a web page. Click here. So preview text is really, really important. But anyway, sorry, I got off on a whole tangent. So when I'm setting up my emails, that I'm like, where did that come from? That's where this came from. I put subject line X as a placeholder, preview text X as a placeholder, because if you're not writing that, you're missing a big opportunity. Then I write, hey, F name in brackets, which in this case is to represent the first name merge tag. If you are not utilizing your email marketing thing ability to just plop people's first name in there, then again, that's another big thing that you're missing. You should definitely do that. You should actually definitely be split testing your emails, okay? Even if you have a small list. I have a list of only a couple hundred people. You guys accidentally said a couple 100,000 people. No, I don't spend that much money on ads, but I only have a list of a couple hundred people. So there's this misconception that people think, oh, I have a small list, so I shouldn't be split testing because I don't have like a big enough sample size, blah, blah, statistical relevancy thing. What I do is like, so here's what you don't want. Because yeah, at a list size of just a couple hundred people, you don't want to split test A and B to 20% of your list and then send out the winner, because that, you don't have a big enough sample size for statistical relevancy for that. But what I do instead is I make sure that when I'm doing a split test for subject line, that it's set to go out to 100% of the list. So there's no like determine the winner and send the winning combination out after the fact. You're just sending everyone on the list, half get A, half get B. So if you're not doing that, I highly recommend doing that. And the only thing you should split test is subject lines. All the other stuff doesn't really matter. I've talked about that somewhere else in detail, and I don't quite remember where, but if I do remember where, I'll put the link up in the great beyond, alongside the other stuff, the fuck the sales funnel and the spam detailed thing. So I put, hey, first name for that merge tag thing, comma, and then I put dashes, and then I put my sign off. So for me, it's your friendly neighborhood marketing nerd with a comma and then my name, Jamie Doerschuck. So for you, your sign off will probably be different than that. And then this is the tip, okay? I make a bullet points, and the bullet points say, story. Today I want to talk to you about X. I leave X as a placeholder. Content, call to action, PS, and then I have a bullet at the bottom that says notes, where as I'm just, digesting my ideas and stuff, I stick it in the notes. And then I pull stuff from my notes and sort it into their appropriate categories. And what this means, you guys, is that just like planning a trip, you cannot get to your destination before you decide where it is. So in this case, we're deciding our destination. We're deciding what it is that we want to communicate to people through this simple bullet point outline. Story. Today I want to talk to you about X, which X is your topic. Content, which is what you're actually wanting to share with people. Call to action, and PS. So if I wanted to use that format for, actually, I did kind of use that format in an email that I just sent out. Let me just look at it real quick. I don't use them in everything because it just depends. Like if I'm sending a really, really short email where I am just trying to get people to click on something, then I'll just be like, for example, I send an email out 15 minutes before my thing goes live, and I'm just like, hey, are you busy right now? Click here to hang out with me. So I don't obviously do that whole rigmarole for just something short like that. But for every other email that you're writing, you could be doing that. So let me just try to take a look here. All right, so story. In an email that I just sent today, well, I usually write also story/intro because it doesn't always have to be a story. But here's the story portion. You're probably thinking, email, that's so 2010. Also, if you're watching this on Facebook, I don't know where the fuck you're watching this because I posted it a lot of places, but if you're watching this on Facebook, this is actually the text that is like the copy for the actual video. I wrote it the same way because I usually write the copy for this as though I'm going to send it as an email, and then I just edit it slightly for the purpose of posting it on social media. But story, okay, you're probably thinking, email, that's so 2010. Not so fast there, trendsetter. Email might seem old school, but even in 2020, it's still a huge moneymaker for many businesses. That you're probably sick and tired of spending time on marketing that doesn't yield any results. Good news, I'm tired of seeing people like you waste time on marketing that doesn't work. That's why, okay, now we're at, today I want to talk to you about X. That's why I'm saying you should focus on the number one low-hanging fruit opportunity to add top line revenue to your business. I've had clients increase revenue by 10, 30, even 100% with the strategies taught in this email marketing series. Okay, so that's what I want to talk to you about today, is that content. In this case, the content that I was sharing is what people are going to be learning in the video, and also what you have to look forward to in the rest of the series. The call to action. In this case, as I'm looking at an email right now, I put click here to join me at 8 p.m. EST tonight with a winky face. And then I did not have a PS in this case because I did not decide to write one. But yeah, so if you are the kind of person who really struggles with what should I say and I don't know and blah, 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 just do this, okay? It sounds really simple, and I've honestly taught this a lot, but people are still not doing it. So if I can give you one quick actionable takeaway from this video, it is the next time you're writing an email, before you get stressed out about it, before you write your email and push send, just write your bullets, plan a little bit in advance. And you don't have to pick the subject line or the preview text or anything else until you decide what it is that you're going to communicate. Then you can start to work on it, work through writing the content of the email and work out what the subject lines and stuff should be before you send your email. So, that is a lot. That was a mouthful, and a lot of F-bombs. So I hope that you guys had a ton of fun. This is only how can I put this? Probably the most basic video that is going to be in the email marketing series. So I am really looking forward to, in the next couple of videos, focusing in on how to grow your list, what's wrong with people's lead, magnet generation stuff that I talked about. I see a lot of problems come up repeatedly with my clients. We're going to talk about how to figure out if you have that problem, how to fix it. We're going to talk about what to do after you get someone onto your list. So there's the list building part, but then there's a phase that comes immediately after that most people are not capitalizing on. We're going to dig really super deep, and we're going to focus on how to write sales emails and stuff like that. I'm going to show you my entire e-commerce email marketing engine, just the framework of what it is and why, what the functions are of each of the stuff and how many emails are in. And it's going to be a whole big fun thing. And so much more. If you're really nice to me, maybe we will write a sales email together live on the show. So let me know if you'd be interested in doing that. And finally, please submit to me your emails. If you have sequences, if you have something that you've been working on, if you have a broadcast, a newsletter that you're sending out, send me a copy. I want to do live review of your stuff, of your emails on the show. So you can send them to me by direct messaging the Entrepreneur TV page. That would be the best way. If you're, that's the best way. Just direct message the Entrepreneur TV page, or if you know me personally or another way to get in touch directly with me, feel free to do that. It just depends on, I was going to be or write a comment on this video, but if you're watching it in a group, I'm not actually going to be able to see that comment. So just DM the ETV page if you're not sure. And if you know me personally and you have a way to get directly in touch with me, then feel free to use that way as well. Maybe I'll entertain y'all with a ditty on the piano another time. I can open up maybe the next show with a little something on the piano, although it is really, really out of tune actually. So I like it, but I don't know if you'll like it. But that is what I have for y'all today. If I have brought you any value, please spread the word about Entrepreneur TV by sharing this video. If you learned even one little small thing in this video today, Be sure to check back next week, Wednesday at 8 p.m. EST, because like I said, this is probably the most basic video out of all of them. And of course, if you want to continue the conversation with me, then you can join me in the Marketing Nerd Crew Facebook group. You can find that at jamiedoerschuck.com/crew. Or if you're watching this on Facebook right now, you can just go into the search bar and type Marketing Nerd Crew. It will pop right up. It will be super purple. You will know it is me because I am obsessed with purple. You guys, my house is painted on the outside 3 shades of purple. I'm obsessed with purple. You know how obsessed I am with purple? Once when I was in high school, one of my friends came for my birthday, and he had to leave like before the party was over. But he was like, hey, like he pulled me aside. He's like, hey, like my mom's here. I have to leave early, but I really want you to open my present. And I'm like, okay. So he pulled out this giant purple bag and he just starts pulling out. He's like, look at all this cool shit I got for you. I got you a purple notebook and some purple pencils and some purple socks. And he's just pulling out stuff and some purple candy. And then he reaches into the bag and he pulls out a last thing. He's like, and a purple egg plant. All right, well, I've got to go. And then he left. But it was a delicious eggplant, and that's probably the most purple stuff I've ever got in one sitting. Look, you guys, like straight up, my water bottle's purple right now. I've got some fucking purple flowers like up in here. Thank you, baby. And also purple vase. So yeah, I'm obsessed with purple. You type Marketing Nerd into the Marketing Nerd Crew into the Facebook, the Facebooks. It'll come up and it will be extremely purple, and you will know that it is me. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining me today. Thank you for your comments that you've shared live. And remember, you guys, even if you're watching on the hashtag replay, post your questions about email marketing here in the comments so that I can see them, because I want to make this together. I want to make this series collaboratively. I want to make it for you. So I want to know like what's on your mind, what you're working on, what hasn't worked for you, where you're feeling frustrated, what you don't understand, what questions you have, any way that I could possibly help you with email marketing. Please feel free to let me know in the comments. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining me today, and I will catch you next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, what should you do if you want to continue learning about copywriting? What's a good next step for you to take after this video? Definitely make sure that you join my free 1-month sales copywriting course, where you're going to learn step-by-step processes for research, strategy, and of course, even more in-depth techniques on how to write stuff like sales pages and email sequences like you just learned today. You definitely want to join that and check that out at jamiedoerschuck.com/funnel. Also, if you want to join a community of smart marketers and business owners just like you, then come join our secret society. You'll find that at the Marketing Nerd Crew, jamiedoerschuck.com/crew. That's a place where we can connect with each other. You can get advice, not just from me, but also from professional marketers and high-level business owners just like yourself. Also, I heavily moderate the group, so you can be sure that there's nobody in there trying to scam you or sell you anything. You can find that link at jamiedoerschuck.com/crew, and you can find all the links that we just talked about, as well as all the other places of the Marketing Nerd community, in the description below. So if you like this video, then remember to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss any of my next free actionable marketing strategies. Thank you so much again for watching this far. I really appreciate it. If you decide to give any of these strategies that you learned in this video a try, please leave a comment and let me know how it goes, because I would love to hear from you. Also, if you're looking for something to watch next, definitely check out these 2 videos that just popped up on the screen for you, because I've personally selected them to follow what you're watching right now, so you know that you're gonna love them. Thank you so much once again for watching today's video, and I'll see you next week. Bye for now.